Hello friends, how's it going? So I'm going to start this video as I usually do, and it's with a card. It is also extremely windy outside, and if you can hear it, I'm sorry, but I'm also scared of the wind, so we get to deal with it together. So there's that. Anyway, this one. Expect powerful change. New moon eclipse. And I was thinking about getting ready and already opening up to it, but I decided I really wanted to wait until I did it on video. Because last time I went straight to it. This time it doesn't seem like it's happening. But that's okay. I think I found it. New moon eclipse. Expect powerful change. Okay. If you want affirmation that you can achieve your dreams and get the desired outcome in this situation you're asking about, then this is it. This is a card of beginnings, and there are powerful energies at work. But be prepared. It could be quite a ride, and events now could even be jarring and uncomfortable. However, any new directions you take will almost always lead somewhere better than where you are at the moment. Whatever is happening now is happening for a reason you'll appreciate later on. A new portal is opening up, and all you have to do is have the courage to forget about the past and move through it. You're being put back on the right path. There is nothing to fear. Attuned to the moon? Never mind the past. Life evolves every single day. Make sure. Attuned to the moon. Now these additional meanings for this card. Yes, 1,000 times yes. You're being shunted towards your life purpose. Whatever is happening now is happening for your highest good. Or this is an important turning point in your life. The teaching is new moon eclipses are among the most exciting astrological events. They herald a complete change of pace. It's as though you're headed in one direction, probably being guided by your ego. And then here comes the divine, the goddess or spirit, to turn you instead to face the direction you actually need to go. Regardless of whether or not there's a new moon eclipse happening when you pull this card, it's a powerful affirmation of positive turnarounds. I really like that. I don't know about you, but I just felt that really just wash over me. It felt really nice. Wow. Okay. Now, put that card away. Put that away. Put that there. And that there. Alright. Let's get started with the book. And yes, I have obsessiveness in here, which is interesting. But it seems to work out. Anyway, chapter 10. They drive for nearly an hour, Tuck bearing down on the wheel like a man possessed, Samira staring out the window at an empty Nebraska sky. The entire adventure seems unreal, and Samira finds herself wrestling with the notion that the past few hours have been nothing more than a PTSD fever dream. What if I'm not really here? What if I'm actually in a VA hospital pumped so full of Thorazine? I don't know if that's how you say it, but oh well. So full of Thorazine that I'm imagining my childhood friend is some kind of time-hopping policeman? God, if that's the case, I hope they just let me sleep it off. I think that's fair. Tuck, however, harbors no such illusions. Samira's decision to accompany him has filled him with a clear sense of relief, but she can still feel stress and tension flowing off him in waves. Every few minutes, he reaches under the seat and feels around until his hand lands on the slim metal briefcase, as if reassuring himself that it hasn't sprouted legs and run away. Each time a car appears on the highway, he tightens his grip on the wheel and stares at the rearview mirror until some unseen sign convinces him that they are not being pursued. Occasional beads of sweat pop up on his forehead and slowly dry into salty crystals. And whenever he reaches up to wipe them off, he runs his hand through his hair for good measure. After the first 60 miles, it's sticking so high up that it scrapes the roof of the pickup. Eventually, Samira rolls down the window and puts her head out into the cold night air, nearly 20 hours from its last washing. Her hair is beginning to curl into small, tight ringlets that bounce up and down against her back as the truck rockets along. Her father used to tell her that she has her mother's hair. When she was a small girl, she would often sit on the sofa and brush it while she sat cross-legged in front of him and watched documentaries about African wildlife. He couldn't get enough of such shows. He purchased them in bulk from the local public television station. And by the time Samira was in high school, she felt like a zoologist in her own right. As her father brushed, he would nod at the narration, occasionally interrupting his work to say, "Did you know a lion could do that, Samira?" Or, "The world is fantastic, is it not?" She finds herself tearing up at the thought of her father and quickly pulls her head inside and rolls up the window. If Tak notices her tears, he says nothing, and they spend another hour driving in silence. She doesn't know where they are going, and actually doesn't feel the need to ask. The more she learns, the more likely she is to decide that this whole plan is madness, and that means returning to her previous life. Even if Tak's new reality is a total sham, she wants to hold on to it for as long as possible. Finally, as if directed by an unseen force, Tak pulls into a small strip of dirt pointing away from the highway. He follows the trail, the truck bouncing and juking over ruts in the road until he arrives at a large metal gate. Without a word, he shuts off the engine, grabs the case, and slips out the door, forcing Samira to bolt from the truck in order to catch up. The two of them clamber over the gate and toward the west, skirting around the edge of a small unlit farmhouse behind them. Behind them, the sun is just beginning to rise, casting a thin, pale glow on the surrounding nature. After a couple of minutes of walking, they suddenly stumble into a huge field filled with waving stalks of corn. "This works," mutters Tak. "Yeah, this'll do nicely." He drops to one knee and sets the briefcase in front of him. Flipping the catches on either side, he grasps the top with both hands and lifts it open. Samira kneels beside him and stares inside with breathless anticipation. She's been forming ideas of what is inside ever since he described its purpose, and her imagination has been demanding lights and wires and indescribable technology, both alien and frightening. But once the lid is pulled back and locked into place, all she can see is a round glass panel, 2 lights and a few knobs. A dim green glow emanates from the panel, shines weakly off the nearby snow. "That's it?" Excuse me. she asks with dismay. That's it, responds Talk. This looks like a community theater prop. It'll look better once it powers up. I knew this wasn't real, she says with disappointment in her voice. Why would you do this to me? It's gonna work, Sam. I don't know how it works, but it does. How can you not know? Because I didn't build it. I stole it. What time is it? She glances down at her watch. 10 to 7. Okay, good. He reaches into his pocket, removes a small black notebook, and begins to thumb through it as he talks. So, here's the deal. We're going to turn on the machine, the real machine, at there. They're going to turn on the machine, the real machine, at 10:17 Australian time. That's 7:17 here. So that means we have about half an hour before we have to make the jump. Do we have to cut it that close? Yeah, because this portable guy here doesn't let us control how long we stay in the other timeline. It could be a day or a couple of minutes, and if we go too early and get pulled back, we'll be here when they activate the real machine, and then, well, you're screwed, so we have to wait. Samira nods, then leans over and stares at the entries in the notebook. Talk glances at her for a moment, then holds it open so she can see. The page before her reads, 121453 Wasteland, 137771 Portland? Where is this? 231322 Wasteland, 421648, and it's crossed out. And it says, holy shit, dude! And it says conduit dead. 132138. I think this was nuked. 315769. Mario Land! Yay! That would be me if I was some kind of time traveler. That's so funny. Mario Land! Yay! These are my notes, he says by way of explanation. Each number here corresponds to a dial in the portable machine. So if I set it to 121453, then we'll end up in that red sand wasteland I told you about. What does conduit dead mean? Asks Samira as Talk flips another page. That means that the doorway to that timeline isn't open anymore. Talks. No. Why not? Talk starts to answer, then turns away. It's the people I told you about, he says after a moment. The ones in the basement who hold the timelines open. Sometimes they die, and then I can't go back to that world anymore. You call them conduits? Yeah, I would be pretty upset about that too, Samira. Be nice. Okay. Yeah, well, saying that Mary Jo Ellen died is just too damn depressing. Look, can we not talk about that right now? I need to find a safe timeline for us to visit. Okay, says Samira. She rocks back on her heels and twists one ring of hair around her finger. Hey, Talk? Yeah, he says, distracted. What's it going to be like? Time travel, I mean. It's not great, he says without looking up. You're gonna see old memories, but they'll be all mixed up and weird. You'll probably see some of my memories too, because when you go through the machine with other people, it tends to smush them all together. Is it going to hurt? No. But you're going to be sick as a dog when we come out the other side because you didn't eat enough pancakes, so just be ready for that. Well, Samira giggles slightly at this. I think I would have puked if I ate any more. Yeah, well, you're gonna totally paint the walls when we talk trails off. Samira starts to say something, but he holds up one hand to silence her. As she watches, he tilts his head to the side and closes his eyes, seeming for all the world to be listening intently to nothing. Oh, fuck, he says suddenly. What? She is about to ask again, when Tuck's eyes fly open. One look at them tells her that all that she needs to know. He is absolutely terrified. What time is it? He asks. It's 7? Oh, fuck me, running! They're early! What? They turned it on early. God damn it, we have to go now. She is about to ask him how he knows, how he can possibly know what people are doing thousands of miles away, when the air suddenly grows cold and thick. The sky above her, which had been glowing faintly orange just a moment before, begins to darken. Talk, what's happening? Asks Samira as her stomach clenches into a knot. What's going... Put your hands on the plate, he barks, flipping through the book with renewed speed. What plate? Talk, I don't... The plate! He screams. The glass thing in the center of the briefcase. Put your fingers on it. She does so instantly. Fear, that old, unwelcome friend, climbs from her gut to her head and makes a home there. She feels the way she used to feel before leaving on a patrol, a combination of nervousness, nausea, and shame. I get that. Okay, here, Talk cries. He stuffs the notebook back into his coat and begins twisting the dials. As he does, the green light from the plate begins to brighten, becoming more brilliant with each click. By the time he is turning the 6th and final knob, Samira's fear has abated to a dull throb deep in her chest. There's something hypnotic about the green light, something calm and peaceful and totally wonderful. But as the final knob clicks, the green light begins to wane. The area around them gets dark, like all the light is being sucked from the world. After a moment, she realizes there's something terribly wrong with the sky, and as Talk puts his hand over hers and a deep musical tone bursts forth from the briefcase, she lifts her eyes and sees a large purple hole in the sky. That is terrifying. It begins to slowly spread across the heavens like a tumor, wiping out the orange of the sunrise and replacing it with the sickening dark color. Lightning crackled from somewhere within the hole. Then other sights follow, an explosion of light like she has never seen, and colors that she has no names for, because they shouldn't exist. But these things are there only for a moment. Seconds later, a hellish dark mass belches out of the hole and fully consumes the heavens, leaving the small green glow from the glass panel as the only light in the world. The wind begins to bellow with fury, kicking up a blizzard of snow around Samira. Talk! She screams. Talk! What's happening? It's the machine! He screams back. It's overriding the solid timeline. She can barely see Talk anymore. So black is the sky. He's become little more than a dark silhouette with spiky hair. Suddenly, she regrets ever doubting her friend. It's true. Everything he said. Oh my God, it's all true. The moment she thinks this, Samira hears a noise from the depths of the briefcase. Seconds later, she feels her hand getting heavy. Mom's spaghetti. Then her arms, then her chest. Within moments, it's as if someone has wrapped her in a massive lead curtain, crushing her with equal force on every inch of her body. She tries to lift her head and fails, then manages with great effort to lift her eyes. She can see Talk now because he is glowing with streaks of white and blue, almost like she's watching him on a television with bad reception. She glances down and sees her hands stretched across the bottom of the case, fingers glowing impossibly long, fingers growing impossibly long, and thin until they begin to disappear. The noise is terribly loud, drowning out even the howl of the wind, and she feels it reach into her head and push her eyes against their sockets. Her arms begin to stretch, growing thinner and thinner until they do. Thinner and thinner until they, too, begin to vanish from sight. The darkness and noise sear themselves on her brain until all Samira can do is close her eyes, grit her teeth, and inside her mind scream the loudest scream of her life. Oh God, she thinks as green light leaks out of the case and swirls around her vanishing frame. Oh God, oh God. This is what it's like to die. I've done this to people. I've sent them to this place. Please, please let this work. Please help me make it right. Seconds later, as the world dissolves around them, Talk and Samira wink out into nothing. That is the end of that. Very good, very good. I love it. So, something that I wanted to talk about, I'm not going to go through it today, but I have a couple things that I could talk about today. So, one thing is I have this notebook that I've been kind of using to study different books. And my idea was that I would go back and read what I had learned and like where my thought process was at the time as I was learning that thing. And it's almost full. When it is full, I'm very excitedly going to show it off. But right now, I'm going to very excitedly show off this book that I got from Amazon because, as I've explained before, I am a non-binary person. I kind of figured that out, I want to say in 2020. I really figured that out in 2020. But I was terrified to say anything for months. At least, like, maybe a year or something like that. But I was terrified to say anything to anyone about the thought that I might be non-binary. But it felt right whenever I did tell people, and people would refer to me as they, them, and use compliments that are a lot more like masculine. And it is quite unfortunate to me that masculine compliments they're not very many, unfortunately. So, I mean, I call people that are masculine or feminine or whoever, I call them pretty, beautiful, handsome. I really like the word dashing a lot. And a lot of people, I've gotten made fun of for that a lot of my life. But I love that word, dashing. Like, oh, it's an elegant word, honestly. And I actually got called elegant recently, which was really nice. And I still don't know how to feel about it because I don't feel elegant most of the time. But that's okay. It was a really nice compliment. But I feel like compliments, I mean, for me, compliments are weird because I've been told that I'm beautiful and pretty and sexy and whatever a lot of my life. And so I'm used to those compliments, or cute or whatever. Like, I'm very confident in few things, but in those things I am very confident. Like, I mean, I don't know every day that I am beautiful or attractive in any way, but I usually know that I'm pretty attractive. I also just see myself differently than most people apparently do. Well, most people. A lot of people have, I guess, told me that I'm attractive in one way or another. But recently, people have been respecting the fact that I like masculine terms instead of, or compliments instead of, you're beautiful all the time. Because in my head, it doesn't mean much because only people that have used me, pretty much only people that have used me have called me beautiful. That's at least part of the reason. There are so many reasons. But I also compliment people like crazy. I work at a Walmart. And I like to do this thing where I compliment random people. I'm just like, someone will walk by and I really like their shirt, and I really genuinely do. So I tell them, I really like your shirt. I really like how it looks. And like, sometimes I'll go into detail, but if it looks like they're rushing out, I'm like, I really like your shirt. Have a good day. And then a lot of times they'll like turn around and say like, thank you so much. I'm like, of course. But, I mean, for example, I should say, this lady, she came up, she was about to get her stuff, like, scan her stuff at self-checkout, and she was like, I just love how happy, sorry, I'm Johnny Depp apparently, I apologized to a microphone, but I'm not gonna go anywhere, anyway. But she was like, oh, I love how happy you are, and just like all of this stuff. And I do this thing where when people are purchasing alcohol, I'm like, I don't know, are you old enough? And I usually do this to people that are visibly old enough. Because at Walmart, at least at my Walmart, I don't know if it's everywhere, but at my Walmart, you have to be 50 or over to purchase alcohol without us, like, really checking your ID, I guess. And even then, we still check your ID just to make sure. Also, there are cameras everywhere in Walmart, so we have to check them or we will get talked to. But anyway, she showed me her ID. And let me tell you, this lady, like, she had maybe like like 2 wrinkles on her face, I want to say. And it didn't look like she got work done or anything. It just looked like a healthy face. She was gorgeous. But I was like, I thought you were maybe 35. And I forget how old she ended up being. Anyway, but I don't remember her name, so it's okay. But anyway, she was gorgeous. And she was like, oh my God, I feel like I'm on cloud 9 right now. I'm like, I'm so happy. But like, I just really like complimenting people. Anyway, I went on such a long rabbit trail or bunny trail, whatever. Ow. I'm gonna get the book that I was talking about before I went on the bunny trail. Because it's right here. Stay. But it's really cool. And this isn't like a brand deal. I haven't been on YouTube or made enough videos or kept anything consistent with my videos enough to have any kind of brand deal. As far as I know, I don't know. Anyway, but this, it's called It Feels Good to Be Yourself. And it's a book about gender identity. I'm sure most of you can read, but you know, sometimes it's nice to read it to people, I guess. Just in case. I don't know. Just stay. Okay. I should probably move this so that I can do that. And yes, my videos are on my phone because I don't have a better way to do it. But anyway, it starts off with a girl named Ruthie. And she is transgender. And it says, girl is Ruthie's gender identity. I'm like, that's really cool. And then you come over here. This is Ruthie's brother, Xavier. Xavier is a cisgender boy. And I thought that was so cool. That was just so cool to me. That was amazing. Because a lot of people, you know, it's really easy in the gay community, at least, to kind of bash cisgender people. And I understand a lot of it too, because when I was growing up, I was honestly a homophobe, and I didn't realize that for a while until I was like, oh, I'm gay. And then I like thought about the ways that I thought about like the gay culture and everything. I didn't think it was a culture, obviously, because why would I think it was a culture if I didn't agree with it? I just thought it was a lifestyle choice, as most people who don't agree with it do. Anyway, so this is one of my favorite parts. It says, see, when you were born, you couldn't tell who you were or how you felt. They looked at you and made a guess. Maybe they got it right, maybe they got it wrong. Like, that's amazing. What a baby's body looks like when they're born can be a clue to what the baby's gender will be, but not always. And then it gets better. When people, oh god damn it. When people guess wrong, it's okay to let them know. Ruthie was 5 when she told her parents, I know you think I'm a boy, but really I'm a girl. And they hug her. That's not something that happens in families like mine. First of all, I got outed by a sister that I told not to, tell anyone, especially my mom. And then her excuse was, oh, but I just felt like if I told mom, it would be helpful. No, you're just selfish. And if you see this, Now you know. You are just selfish. Thank you. Anyway, so when people guess right, it's okay to let them know. Xavier was 3.5 when he told his family, "I'm a boy. I like being a boy." Good for you, Xavier. Like, that's so incredible to me. And, like, it keeps going. And one of my favorite parts is the resources, because in the back, there are a bunch of resources. Helpful terms to know, a note about pronouns, resources for, like, other books for kids, as well as books for adults here, and documentary, organizations, and all kinds of things in the back of this book. Like, this book makes me so happy to talk about. I've been talking about it since I got it, like 2 days ago. I've been talking about it a lot, and it's amazing, and I love it. It makes me so very, very happy. And I will end this video by reading the very back. It says, "No matter what your gender identity is, you are exactly, no, you are, I'm going to try that again. No matter what your gender identity is, you are okay exactly the way you are, and you are loved." You are loved so much. I hope everyone has a good day. I hope that it's not windy in your area, because I don't know about you, but I hate the wind. I'm honestly scared of it. And it's something that I'm kind of trying to work on. One of the many things. Yay. Anyway, I'll see you all on the other side.